Alphabet, which was formerly named Google, it still goes as Google online if you want to do some searches. It's just been an incredible company for the last 20 years, and it continues to gain value, and I think it's going to continue to go up in value. I wanted to do an update on my analysis of Google and take you through the reasons why I think strategically Google has a very bright future. My name is Victor. I have an MBA, a lot of business experience, and I like analyzing companies that I invest in and companies that I'm considering investing in. I'm an investor in Alphabet, and it's one of my biggest holdings. I believe it's the third biggest stock with regards to how much money I've invested in my portfolio. It's done really well, but I think it has a really bright future that I'd like to tell you about. Do me a big favor and like my video and subscribe to my channel. I produce videos and I analyze companies and provide my point of view on particular companies that I think you'll find interesting. Now let's talk a little more about my process and talk a lot more about Google Alphabet. Now, every investor ought to have their process. They ought to have the way that they find a good company that they believe in and then invest in that company. Because in my case, I'm investing my hard-earned money, so I want to make sure I feel 100% about an investment. And what I look for is I want to be considered a part owner in the company, or I want to consider myself a part owner in the company. I really want to feel like, hey, that's a company I want to own. I want to be a part of that company. I want to be a part of the industry. I want to know that the management team's doing a great job operating the company. And I want the company to have a balance sheet that's really strong, which is less than 3 times EBITDA. I want to discount the stock so I could see my investment go up in value. And based on those 4 key questions, I decide whether I'm going to buy, hold, or sell. One of the most important steps in any investment is to really know that investment. In this case here, really know Alphabet, really know Google, understand what their story is, where they're going, and why you want to be a part of this company. And Alphabet has a great story. It was started by 2 graduates of Stanford that started to really focus on search when not a lot of big players were focused on search, but they did it so well. They were able to have the best search, and then they monetized it. They started AdWords, and that business really became incredibly successful. But they didn't stop there. They continued to evolve the company, and they went off and acquired YouTube, which you're watching right now. That was a great acquisition. So the company acquired YouTube, which is now one of the bigger growth engines for the company, makes lots of money. They didn't stop there. They saw that mobile became really big, so they developed an Android operating system that runs on a lot of smartphones. And the company has that as one of the parts of their business, which is great. And from there, other things that I'll call out, they're in healthcare. They're studying healthcare. They're in our homes with thermostats, cameras, and so forth. So they have Google Home. They have Waymo, which is developing self-driving cars. And they have Google Cloud, which is infrastructure for companies that want to run on Google Cloud. So the company story, and really it's still a story that they're adding chapters to, is one of the brightest ones out there. And that's one of the reasons why I invest in Google. I think they have a great track record, and they have a great track record of innovating and creating new businesses within their company that's going to keep adding value to the shareholder. Looking at the Google revenue, I mean, look at the revenue. They were, less than $1 billion in revenue in 2002. Now they're $280 billion company 20 years later. What an incredible rise. And really it's a combination of things, just brilliant people with great ideas, a great strategy, great execution, and great success. There's a lot of large companies that kind of flatlined and actually lost value for investors. I'll point out, classically Sears. Sears was Amazon before Amazon was even a company, but they really stayed in one industry, and they actually began to falter 20, 30 years ago, and now they're completely bankrupt and gone. Other companies, let's say the automotive industry, Some of the automotive companies were worth so much money in the 50s and 60s. They were kind of the tech companies of that era, but they stayed in the automotive business, and now they're not worth very much. Well, Google and Alphabet, I should say, they haven't rested on their laurels. They had the best search in the industry, just crushed it. They didn't stop there. They got YouTube. YouTube is the leading video sharing website on the planet. They didn't stop there. They advanced. Now they have a Google business, a Google Cloud business that's really growing. And what that does is it really fuels up a growth trend within the company. And these are significant dollars that you're seeing from Google Cloud. So that's going to be a real nice growth and profit engine for the company. What's coming next? Well, they're a big player on AI. Now, Google is not out there broadcasting AI like, hey, look at us. We're doing AI like a lot of companies are. They actually have the technology. They've been working on it for a long time, and they're really being thoughtful on how they're rolling it out. But I've been using their technology online, Bard, and that's going to be a nice growth engine for them right here. And then last, self-driving cars. I mean, it totally makes sense. I travel to big cities, and I can completely see self-driving cars for taxi service. Heck, if the service is really good, I'll give up my car and have, let's say, a Waymo car that's maybe being directed by Uber come pick me up and take me to whatever place I need to go to. That's going to be another business that's going to grow. So these businesses are really, kind of like the next 10 years of growth. This is why I believe Google is gonna continue to have success. Is they're not resting with their current businesses. They're actually creating new businesses. They're going to create new revenue streams. They're going to create new profit streams, new free cash flow streams for the company. I believe that Google stock is currently discounted by 21%. And what that means is that I believe each share is really worth about $164.20, but the market will sell you shares at $135.72. I get my valuation by discounting free cash flows and also looking at earnings per share. If you want a deep dive on that, I have another video on Google where I completely analyzed it and went step by step. But my valuation, I have a discount on Google of 21%. So visiting the scorecard for Alphabet, I definitely want to be part owner in Alphabet. They've got a great future. The company is operated by a great leadership. Debt is well below 3 times EBITDA. They actually have really no debt because they have more cash than debt. And they offer about a 21% discount. Not a big discount, but this is a very high quality company. So I'll continue to buy Alphabet shares. Google stock really offered up a great discount not too long ago. Really at the end or at the beginning of 2023, you could have picked up Google for $90 per share, and you would have saw your stock rise 50%. And that's why I do analysis on companies. That's why I track companies like Google for years. Is my value on Google is $164.20. So I bought Google in this era. I bought Google back here. I've been buying Google. I'm still buying here, just not in the same amounts. I like to average in my purchases of stock, but here it's the same company that was valued at $150 a share. Same company, within 1 year, it was discounted by more than 50%. So I picked up shares to make money, and that's why I do my analysis, and that's why I chart stocks like this. The Google stock has been doing great this year. It's up 51.66%, and I think it's going to continue to rise. And the reasons for it is the market recognizes that they're just in a really good position. They're diversified, but diversified into great businesses. So Alphabet, I think I'd get few people to argue with me that it's not one of the best run companies in the world with some of the most important and valuable technologies in the world. I think most people would agree. And it's one of the stocks that I just believe it just has a great chance of being far more valuable in 10 years. They have got the right strategy. They've got the right products. They've got the right culture to just continue to innovate and create new businesses that will bring in new revenues and create new revenue streams, profit streams, and cash flow streams in the future. I hope you enjoyed the video and found it interesting. Do me a big favor and like the video and subscribe to my channel. I'd appreciate that. Good luck investing in 2023.